Hello everyone. Wild boars have long posed a significant threat to agriculture and human life in various parts of the world. While the United States has its own challenges with these invasive species, the situation in Australia is far more severe, with an estimated 24 million wild boars wreaking havoc across the country. So, what kind of damage has wild boars caused to agriculture and human life in Australia? How do hunters and farmers protect themselves and their livelihoods? Please follow us and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on this pressing issue. One of the most significant impacts of wild boars in Australia is on agriculture. Farmers in various regions have reported extensive damage to their crops, resulting in financial losses and increased costs for replanting and repairs. In the Burdekin area, wild boars have caused extensive damage to sugarcane fields. One farmer noted that entire sections of young sugar cane plants were uprooted overnight, leading to significant financial losses and requiring replanting efforts. This damage not only affects the immediate yield but also the long-term productivity of the fields. Wild boars are not confined to rural areas, they also invade urban spaces, causing significant property damage and creating unsanitary conditions. In urban areas of Australia, wild boars forage for food, destroying lawns, gardens, and landscapes. Homeowners face costly repairs and replacements as their outdoor spaces are ravaged by these animals. This behavior detracts from the aesthetics and functionality of outdoor spaces, causing frustration and financial burdens for residents. Moreover, the presence of wild boars can create unsanitary conditions and potential hazards for both residents and livestock. In addition to property damage, wild boars often rummage through trash cans in urban areas, littering and creating unsanitary conditions. This behavior can lead to streets and yards being littered with trash, attracting other pests and increasing the risk of disease. The presence of trash also creates an unpleasant environment for residents and requires additional effort and cleanup costs. How do you think farmers should prioritize their strategies to protect their crops from wild boars? Should they focus more on preventive measures or reactive solutions? One of the traditional methods used by Australian farmers to manage wild boar populations is trapping. Hunting wild boars with net traps is a strategic and effective method to catch multiple wild boars at once. The process involves several steps to ensure successful capture. First, areas with high wild boar activity are identified by looking for signs such as tracks, bogs, and tree root damage. Ideal locations are near water sources, feeding areas, and trails. Once these areas are identified, bait such as corn, fruit, or other attractive foods is used to lure boars into the designated trap area. The bait must be placed continuously over a period of time to build the boar's confidence in that area. In particular, traps can be equipped with trap wires or pressure plates connected to the net. When wild boars enter the bait area and disturb the trigger mechanism, the net is released, falls, and traps them. The trigger mechanism must be sensitive enough to activate when wild boars are present but not too sensitive to avoid false activation. This method of hunting is effective due to its high catch rate, allowing the capture of multiple wild boars simultaneously. It is particularly useful in areas with large wild boar populations, where rapid management of large numbers is required. Additionally, net traps allow wild boars to be captured alive, which can be beneficial for various management goals such as relocation, research, or even humane culling procedures. However, trapping wild boars presents several challenges. Setting up net traps requires considerable expertise and knowledge of wild boar behavior and movement patterns. Traps must be placed strategically in areas frequented by wild boars, and the bait used must be extremely attractive to ensure successful capture. This setup process can be time-consuming and requires a good understanding of the local environment. Do you think the benefits of trapping wild boars outweigh the challenges? How can farmers and hunters improve their trapping techniques to enhance effectiveness? Another effective method for managing wild boar populations in Australia is aerial hunting. Wild boar hunting by aircraft, specifically through aerial shooting, is a coordinated and strategic effort used to control feral pig populations. The process involves identifying areas with high wild boar activity through field surveys and reports from landowners. Necessary licenses and approvals are obtained from the competent authorities to ensure the legality and safety of the operation. A team is formed, consisting of experienced pilots, trained gunners, and support staff. The shooter is usually a professional marksman or a trained wildlife management officer. The aircraft flies on a predetermined route through areas with high wild boar populations. The helicopter's low altitude and slow speed allow for precise targeting. The shooter targets wild boars from the air, aiming for a quick and humane kill. The aircraft's viewpoint and maneuverability allow the team to cover large areas and access difficult terrain where ground-based methods are not feasible. In particular, aerial hunting has proven to be highly effective in protecting crops and reducing wild boar populations. In Queensland, aerial shooting programs have been successful in protecting sugarcane and other crops from damage caused by wild boars. Collaboration between farmers, government agencies, and wildlife management experts is key to the success of these efforts. In densely populated areas, a helicopter flight can kill dozens of wild boars. For example, a coordinated aerial shooting operation in Queensland reported killing between 30 and 100 wild boars per trip. However, aerial hunting also presents significant challenges. Coordinated aerial shooting programs are expensive and require financial support from both government and the private sector. Aerial shooting requires many resources, including skilled personnel, helicopters or planes, guns, and fuel. The cost of these resources can be high, limiting the frequency and scale of operations. Moreover, operations in tropical regions of northern Australia often face challenges due to seasonal weather patterns, such as the monsoon. Bad weather can interfere with flights, reduce visibility, and affect the safety and effectiveness of shooting. How can stakeholders ensure the sustainability of aerial hunting programs despite these challenges? Is there a way to make aerial hunting more cost-effective? Share your thoughts in the comments section, and keep exploring the next invasive species with us.